Hi, welcome back to Finally Revealed. And in this episode, I want to give you an update on the status of the economic impact payments. I call them advance income tax refund payments. This is part of the CARES Act that was passed and made law March 27 of 2020 in connection with this whole situation. And this is the money coming out of the Department of the Treasury through the IRS to the individuals. So this applies to everybody who filed a tax return in 2018 and those who probably will file in 2019 or already did file in 2019. And it also applies for those who don't have to file a tax return. So I will put a link to the original video below. All of that information is still correct. This is just updating you on the status of those checks, which you should be able to start checking this week, and I'll tell you how. Number two, there were questions about how you would notify the IRS if your information changed, and that is in here. And then also, what about people who don't have a tax return on file? What do we do? And also people who are going to be filing separately now and previously filed as married people. So let me get started. So first of all, I'm going to put the links to these different things I talk about below in the description so you can click right on them and go right to them. I have a copy of the change of address form, so I'm going to go through that as well. And as always, leave me any questions that you might have. Okay, the first one is beginning Wednesday, April 15. They're not exactly sure if it's going to be that day or maybe a little later, but as of today, April 14th, the rest of this information was live. So I think they're probably going to have this button live too. You're going to be able to click on the link that I put down below on the coronavirus economic impact payments, and there's a button called Get My Payment. If you go to this page now, I'm going to go ahead and upload this on the 14th. If you go to the page now, it should still look gray. Maybe it's already turned, but I think it's going to be a dark blue, but right now it's still gray. And if you click on it, it says link doesn't work. So you're going to click on that button. When it works, you'll enter your bank account information. It might be that they don't have any bank account information for you, but you can enter the updated bank account information. You'll need to know your name, your address, the name of your bank account number, and the bank's routing number. If you have any checks, you'll look at the bottom of the check, looking from left to right, the numbers along the bottom. And this is a check that has not been written on and cashed and gone through the bank, because those are going to have another number off to the side. But either way, starting from the left side, the first numbers there are the check number. The next sequence of numbers is the bank routing number. The next sequence of numbers after that is your account number. If it is a check that was negotiated, that you wrote to somebody and his copy has come back with your statement, they imprint through proofing on the far right of the check. It'll show the amount. So if there's 4 sets of numbers, you're dealing with the 2 in the middle. If there's 3 sets of numbers, it's the second and the third. If you don't have any checks, but you have statements, your statements will have your account number on it. The routing number, you can do an internet search. Just put the name of your bank and put ABA number or ABA routing number, and it'll show it. The banks have a separate number that's assigned to them. Regardless of the branches, the bank has the same number. So that's what you're going to put in on the Get My Payment place. And also, check on your status. I'm not sure what information they're asking you to insert, probably your social security number and your name. The button doesn't work, so I couldn't check that out for you. But that, you can start checking on that on April 15. We were told that last week some payments were going to start coming out. I haven't heard of anyone who's received it yet. If you have or know someone, let us know in the comments so we can kind of watch this. So the ACH are all going to go out first, and then the checks are going to follow. So if you don't have your information in there, if you can get it in there, that'll make the process faster and put you to the front of the line. Amounts that you're going to receive are based upon the initial information I gave you. Again, the link to that other video is below. It's based upon whether or not you are single or married, and then there is a provision for children. And also there are limitations based upon your income. Now, if you need to update your address because your address changed because you moved, since the last time that you filed documents with the IRS, or since your last Social Security check, your disability check, your railroad retirement check, or your Social Security survivor benefits, or if you're not required to file a tax return for 2019 and you don't plan to, and those the general rule is you don't have to if as a single person you made less than or equal to $12,000 in gross income, or as a married couple or jointly filing people less than $24,000. And so if you don't have to and you don't plan to, then you need to go in and input this information. I will put the link below, and this takes you to a different third party outside of the IRS. It asks you for information on who everybody is and what your status is and your address and your bank account information. And then this form, once you click the button and submit it, they then transfer that back over to the IRS in a filled out 1040 form, which is a tax return, an informational return that then the IRS will use to issue your payment. Again, if you don't put your bank account information on there, they will mail you a check, and that will take longer. And after you submit this information through this fillable form, part of the information you need is going to be your email address, your name, your address, your Social Security number, your driver's license number, your IRS-P PIN number, which is your identity protection personal ID number, if you have one that you got from the IRS. You don't have to get that first, but if you have that, you'll need that information. The adoption number or the Social Security number for any of your children, if you haven't. Information on how those children are related to you or your spouse. Your dates of birth, your Social Security number, and again, the bank information, the bank routing number and the bank account. That's for ACH payments. Again, you can fill all of this out and not put that information, but you'll get a check, and that will take a lot longer. So if you can give them the direct information to the account, that money can be transferred. Now, after you fill out this pre-fillable form thing, and it will do all the work for you, but it will send you a confirming email right away to tell you that they received it and it's being processed, or it will kick out an error message. So after you go and fill this in online, go to your email address that you put on this document and check it so that you don't waste time and think that it's all done. Go to your email and make sure that it says we accepted it, or there's some question or a problem or a typo. Now, the last thing is if you have a new address, you'll need to fill out a form 8822. I will put the link below so you can go right to that form. And this will be something to change. If you're an individual, you'll show your old address, your new address. If you were joint filers, you'll put both of your addresses to your new address. If you were single filers, now you're going to be joint, you'll put both addresses now to the new address. If you're doing it for joint people, both people have to sign. And you do not use this if you were joint and now you're separated, even if you're still married. So I'll put the link below, and the information on here is whether this is for a gift, estate, or generation transfer tax returns. That's not going to apply. This is a normal document that's used all the time. It's not just for this program, so you need to pay attention to the top. This is going to be used for an individual tax return. Then your name, your spouse's name, Social Security numbers of each, your prior address, your prior names, your spouse's prior name, your old address, your spouse's old address, and then your new joint address. And then there's a place for both people to sign. Make sure both people sign if it's joint. So then that is sent in. Warning, this will take 4 to 6 weeks to update the address. And remember, the IRS will be sending out letters at the time the payment is sent out. They didn't say one way or the other, but I'm guessing they'll either send the letter out to the wrong address anyway if this is still in the system, or this might tag you and update it, and that way might delay the payment, but maybe not, because the letters are going out within 15 days. So they still have 2 weeks to change your address in their records. So possibly your automatic deposit will come out immediately. And so if that happens to you, please let us know. We all like to kind of keep each other in the loop, and we all have different situations, so we don't know every situation. So I hope this was helpful. If it was, give me a thumbs up. The links are below, the 3 links for the different checking your refund, checking, changing your bank information, putting in there if you are not a filer, and changing your address. So if you have any questions, leave them below. Share this so people will know. Subscribe to see the other videos, and come back and see me next time. Thanks for watching.